Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing? Let's see who's here today. I see Trina. Good morning from foggy Southern California. Welcome. Good morning, Debbie. She says good morning, Jackie, and everyone. My blanket is underneath the wheel. Lisa, good morning. Lisa has a huge headache today, laying down to listen. Hope you are well. Thanks, Lisa. I am well. I was sick for a few days. Just like congested. I actually had chest congestion for the first time in I can't remember years and years and years. But I'm on the other side, so I'm feeling great. Thanks, Lisa. I hope you feel better soon. Jackie says, greetings. Welcome, welcome. If you guys can see Piston's back and half butt down there. Piston's hanging out with us today with his toys, both of those, the dragon and the little bull horse toy. Those were bought by you guys. So thank you. Piston loves you very much. Good morning, Carrie. Patricia, good morning. Hope you feel better soon, Lisa. I'm in Florida, a little anxious about this hurricane. I'm sure. Everything always works out. I know it's a lot. Going on. But I'm sending you my best. If you guys are brand new to me, my name is Jackie Mancuso. I am an astrologer, and I help people through the transitions in life. Matt recommended a little while ago that I get a mission statement, right? What are you even doing with all your work, Jackie? Because I don't know what I'm doing. So I was playing around with mission statements, and that was one of them. Something about making helping people find the practical positivity through life's transitions. So that's who I am. That's why I'm here. Today we're here to talk about the upcoming almost full week of astrology. We're going to talk about the astrology from today until Sunday the 13th, because I'm going to be back next Monday the 14th for next week's astrology week and a half update, because I'm going to be traveling next Wednesday. Beautiful. So just one quick announcement before we head into the astrology. I have one of those spiritual toolboxes left, just one. This is a toolbox of metaphysical tools that have served me along my journey, that I'm ready to part ways with as I begin my next path down this RV travel lifestyle. So if you would like to get your hands on the last box that I have available, check out my link tree. It's in my Insight Timer bio for more information. It's all right on the top. I've been talking about it for about a month, and I got one box left. So check that out if you are interested. So between today and Sunday, this is what we're going to talk about. We have three main things going on. Jupiter is going to begin his retrograde in Gemini. Pluto ends his retrograde in Capricorn, and Mercury enters Scorpio. So first, we're going to talk about astrology, and then I'm going to pull oracle cards so that we can see how to best utilize all of these fun things. Good morning, Pam, and beautiful souls from Portland. I'm flying to Portland next week. I have no idea what to expect. I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, I've been to San Diego. That's the farthest west I've been. I've never been further north. It's beautiful. Awesome. So first, we'll discuss Jupiter's retrograde, which begins today, October 9th. And if I'm not mistaken, Jupiter is already retrograde. Jupiter's retrograde will last until February 4th, 2025. Carrie, Jupiter retrograde, what's up with that? Let me tell you. Jupiter begins his retrograde at 21 degrees of Gemini, and he will travel back to 11 degrees of Gemini. So if you have been feeling extra heavy, extra sluggish it is quite possible that the retrograde season has you in its grip. With Jupiter stationed in retrograde, it means that we currently have 6 active retrogrades. Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Uranus, and now Jupiter. They're all in a time of review and reflection. So if you have been feeling the struggle to get things done, and if you've been feeling that it's difficult to charge forward with plans, it may just not be the right time for you, as retrogrades ask us to slow down and go within. Additionally, with Jupiter and Pluto both changing direction this week, they are both stationed. Essentially, that means that they have grinded to a halt in order to change gears and begin in the opposite direction. And when planets station, when they stop their way of motion and they go the other way, when they station, their energies are amplified. So let's talk about Jupiter's amplification right now. Jupiter expands and amplifies. Jupiter in Gemini expands and amplifies the mind. Have you been having a lot of thoughts this week? Have you been having big thoughts this week? Have you been a bit in your head this week? Jupiter stationing in Gemini can bring the tendency to overthink. Gemini is also communication, so it could bring the tendency to overshare. Gemini represents options, so this could bring the energy to have created too many options for yourself, and now you don't know which way is up and you can't choose which way to go. Know that as Jupiter begins his retrograde and he begins his descent back through Gemini, the mind will slow down because this mental activity is also heightened as Jupiter formed a trine yesterday with Mercury in Libra. So yesterday, October 8th, that is when Mercury in Libra formed a harmonious trine to Jupiter in Gemini. Have you had relationships on the mind? Have you felt the desire to discuss relationship themes? Are you having new ideas or fresh ideas of what relationships mean to you? Your place within your relationships, what you desire within your relationships, maybe even new options for how to relate. If so, these might be themes that Jupiter takes with him as he retrogrades back to 11 degrees of Gemini until February 4th. Carol, too much on relationships. Hello, Elena. Trina says, thank goodness, ready for resting my brain. Yes. Carrie, no wonder I'm going crazy. You know what? It's always fun to blame it on the astrology, right? I actually, I kind of love making these notes because I haven't sat with astrology in at least a week, because on Monday I just did tarot and oracle cards. So this morning I made all my notes, and then afterwards I was like, oh, thank God, because I was going crazy the last few days. Jenny, break please from relationships. Hello, Anik. So Jupiter, as he retrogrades, is going to ask you to review your ideas, to go within, and to find the expansive library of knowledge that lives within yourself. That's what retrogrades are about. Jupiter expands in Gemini knowledge, retrograde within yourself. Hello, Sophia. My advice is to explore your inner beliefs. Sit with the things that you have questioned. 11. Sit with the things that you have questioned, the things that you've been taught that don't resonate 100%. Jenny, Jupiter is the good guy. All the planets are the good guys. Sometimes you just have to sit with their lessons. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini is a beautiful time to find your personal inner truth. And you can take this a step farther if you know how to find these degree points in your natal chart. You can find where 11 to 21 degrees of Gemini falls within your chart. This will give you a preview of which house, which area of life Jupiter will be asking you to go within and explore your inner belief systems until February. On Friday, October 11th, Pluto will conclude his retrograde, which has been active since May 2nd. Pluto's energies, as well this past week, have been amplified as Pluto is stationing. He's grinding to a halt. He's hitting the brakes. He's changing gears so that he can change direction. Pluto is sitting at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And this is the last time in our lifetime that Pluto will be in Capricorn. Because on November 19th, Pluto will enter Aquarius, where he will stay for the next 20 years. And Pluto won't make his way back to Capricorn for over 200 years. So with Pluto's station, have you been more aware this week of your boundaries, your limitations, the ones imposed upon you, and also maybe the power that you hold by setting your own boundaries and limitations? Specifically since September this year, have you felt more aware of the things that bind you? The things in life that make you feel like you can't move? The things that take your freedom away? September 2nd is when Pluto's retrograde began. Or I'm sorry, September 2nd is when Pluto's retrograde took him back into Capricorn for us to review for the final time the things that restrict us in order for us to find our personal power in these situations. Pluto represents power. Capricorn represents everything that limits and controls and restricts. So have you found your personal power in limiting yourself? In setting boundaries for yourself? Pam says, absolutely set some boundaries with my family. Jenny, new doors opening after setting boundaries with family. Interesting that the family thing is coming up. Capricorn is also the sign associated with the father archetype. Lisa says, interesting. Normally we start with the house from the left. When it retrogrades, do we look at the house on the right if Gemini takes up 2 houses? So right and left are going to be different depending on where Gemini falls on your chart, if it's in the right side of your chart or the left side of your chart. When you retrograde, you're going to look at Gemini and just look at the middle third and then see which house or houses are impacted there. Wanda says you set boundaries with family. Sophia, yes, letting go of addictive behavior, self-sabotage. Love it. Love it. This week in particular, I can almost feel like an angsty teenager feeling where you know that these limits are worthwhile, right? Limiting yourself, but you are about to break out of them. And it's like you have senioritis and you don't want to be restricted anymore, which is what's coming as Pluto stations direct. With Pluto's direct direction, this is a time of breaking out of things that have been imposing their limits on you. What's really cool about Pluto stationing direct is the role that the moon plays. So the moon enters Aquarius on Friday, October 11th, the same day that Pluto stations direct. And if you watch the chart progress through the day, if you know how to play that astrology math and you just go kind of hour by hour, you'll see the moon move through the final degrees of Capricorn, The moon meets up with Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, and then the moon crosses into 0 degrees of Aquarius. And then almost immediately, Pluto then stations direct, as if he wants to follow the moon, as if Pluto is going to be swayed or influenced by her. So the moon represents our emotional needs. And when the moon crosses Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, the moon is carrying the need to have a plan, the emotional need to know what's coming, to have a grip on things. Then Pluto is going to watch the moon pass him by, cross into Aquarius, and I feel this like sense of longing from Pluto. Like Pluto is so done with having to fight. Pluto is so done with having to make a plan, with having to know the full outline of what's to come through the 20 years of Capricorn that he's been there. And the moon crosses into Aquarius, where our emotional needs turn to freedom, rebellion, being unconventional, innovation. And Pluto realizes that he has reached his full potential in Capricorn. He's been journeying here since 2008. Pluto has fought his battles. Pluto has learned the power of control. And I really feel like Pluto is tired of playing the control game. Trina is so done. Allison, oof. Yes, it relates to that play card that we just got on Monday. Yes. Yes. Allison said, I had imagined more limitations than there were, where being more discerning sheds new light. So interesting. Pluto will be direct in Capricorn from October 11th until November 19th. And then he's in Aquarius for 20 years. This month, October 11th through November 19th, this would be a wonderful time for you to reflect on all the battles that you have won, all the work that you have put in to creating the structures and foundations within your life that are going to hold you through the future. It's a time to change the script. It's a time to change the story. Pluto has been the warrior in Capricorn. Pluto had to quite literally destroy and rebuild all the structures of your life. That takes a lot of work, and you've been doing that work. Pluto's final trip through Capricorn offers you a time to honor yourself. Honor the work that you've had to do to gain the structures that you have now that are holding you and supporting you while you reach for more freedom. You're very welcome, Trina. She says, thank you for this reminder, Jackie. Pretty soon I'll tell you guys about a retreat that I went on. I'm not ready. Things are still settling. I went on a pretty magical retreat 2 weeks ago. And I had some big revelations, and that was one of them. We've done the work. We've done the work. It's time to hang up the battle gear. It's time to settle into rest. Just receive it because it's here. You've done the work. Lastly, I would like to discuss Mercury entering Scorpio. So this is going to happen on Sunday, October 13th. And Mercury is only going to be in Scorpio for 3 weeks until November 2nd. There are some additional aspects happening Sunday the 13th that are setting the tone for Mercury's trip through Scorpio. So first, Mercury is going to form a square to Pluto on Sunday, right before he leaves Libra. Mercury will be at 29 degrees of Libra, squaring Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. Mercury is the planet of the mind. Pluto is the planet of power. Mercury in Libra has had his mind wrapped up in relationships. Pluto in Capricorn feels powerful through his use of structures. This squares create tension, ickiness. This square on Sunday can cause some big feelings of being restrained, of not being able to break free. I'm getting a sense of almost obligation to another, obligation to a relationship that prevents you from reaching for the freedom that you desire. Mercury in Libra. Your mind is wrapped up in relationship. The untamed, unseen mind can wreak havoc. If you haven't yet met your mind as an entity separate from your soul, your mind will absolutely have its way with you. However, if you've been able to observe your mind, if you've been able to sit back and watch the games that your mind plays on you, with you, if you've been able to watch how the mind thinks it's in control, if you have experienced that detachment, then transits like this will probably pass with greater ease because you're not all wrapped up thinking that the mind is actually controlling your life. If you are feeling this weekend as if you are stuck, as if you have no options, I invite you to have a sit-down conversation with your mind. Have your heart talk to your mind and let your mind know we always have unlimited options, sweetheart. It's okay, baby. Lisa says, rule your mind or it will rule you. I have that tattooed on my forearm. I love that. Love that. Love that. So having your heart tell your mind we have unlimited options. This theme is being highlighted with the other aspect that's occurring on Sunday. You have the sun at 21 degrees of Libra forming a beneficial trine to Jupiter retrograde at 21 degrees of Gemini. This shines a light on internal options. And these options may need to be triggered by another person. Let me explain. The sun in Libra sheds a light through relationships. This light is harmoniously working with Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, which is expanding our options within ourselves. So this weekend, if you are feeling restrained by a relationship, take the focus off of the other person because the answers you need are 100% going to be found within. Take time to sit with yourself. Ask yourself what you truly desire, what you believe you deserve, and the options will be presented to you. Then Mercury will actually enter Scorpio, and the mind goes into detective mode. Scorpio is a fixed water sign, and Scorpio is known to dig, to get to the bottom of things, to let no questions go unanswered. We have Mercury in Scorpio for about 3 weeks. So why not give yourself some positive beliefs about yourself to allow the mind to investigate and find proof for? Now, that's a way of taking control of your mind. You give it something positive. Ooh, I know you're going to take out your magnifying glass and put your Sherlock hat on. So let's dig into all these beautiful beliefs about ourselves. Take yourself out of victim mentality and ask yourself, why is it so easy for me to attract everything I desire? How is it that I've been so blessed to receive everything I need? By giving yourself some positive mental prompts, you essentially take control over the direction that the mind takes while it's in Scorpio. I have a track on Insight Timer. It's called Prosperity and Wealth Affirmations, and I use this exact technique. So instead of affirming with statements, I ask you questions. Why is it so easy for you to obtain everything that you need? Why have you always been taken care of? And by asking these questions, assuming that there's an answer to these questions, it forces the mind and your subconscious to find the answer to that question. Because by asking the question, it's assumed that the statement is true. It is easy for me to obtain what I need. I have always been taken care of. So why is that? Let me find proof for that. So you can use this trick on your mind while Mercury travels through Scorpio to take the reins on where the mind goes. Mm-hmm. So let me recap the things that we talked about today, and then we're going to get to some oracle cards. So we have Jupiter retrograde today, October 9th through February 4th, 21 degrees of Gemini, back to 11 degrees of Gemini. This gives us inner reflection, particularly around ideas and relationships. So you can use this time to explore your personal truths and review your beliefs. On Friday the 11th, Pluto stations direct in Capricorn. This is time to, especially until November 19th, reflect on your personal power, your boundaries, the structures that you've built. Honor yourself, honor your journey, honor the battles that you have been fighting since 2008. And then Mercury enters Scorpio, Sunday, October 13th. We'll be there until November 2nd. The mind shifts into detective mode. So give yourself some positive prompts to direct your focus while Mercury plays in Scorpio. So we're going to use two different decks to ask two different questions. You cannot heal what you're busy judging. I like that, Sophia. So we're first going to use the Star Codes Astro Oracle, and I'm going to pull 3 cards, and I'm going to ask how to best utilize the 3 main transits that we talked about today. So I'm going to assume that card number 1 is going to talk to us about Jupiter retrograde. Card number 2 is going to talk to us about Pluto Direct. Card number 3 is going to talk to us about Mercury and Scorpio. So let's ask this deck how to best utilize these 3 upcoming transits this week. Feel free to send your energy into the deck. And I'm going to allow 3 cards to fall out of the deck for us. If you don't want to play the game of these 3 specific transits, if you still want to just ask how to best utilize all 3 transits, and you still want to play that intuition game about which cards are resonating with me more strongly, go for it. If you still want to play that game of which cards resonate most strongly with me, then maybe that can mean, if like card number 2 super resonates with you, then maybe that means that Pluto has the biggest impact on your life this specific weekend. But I guess these questions are asking more for the entire span. I want to ask about the entire span. So how to best utilize Jupiter retrograde through February, how to best utilize Pluto direct in Capricorn through November 19th, and then how to best utilize Mercury in Scorpio until November 2nd. And I will do my absolute best to remind you guys of those dates as I pull the cards, or as I talk about the cards. So I'll still show you the backs of the 3 cards so you can play with your intuition and see which cards are calling most strongly to you. If you feel absolutely nothing, I don't want you to think that your intuition is broken. It just means that the whole reading holds an equal amount of importance for you. If any of the cards pull you in a direction, if anything changes in your body and your physical environment, that could mean that those cards have something to say to you a little bit louder than the other ones. So I'll show you the backs of the 3 cards, and then let us know in the chat which cards are resonating most strongly with you. And I'm going to throw it out there. We're probably going to be here past an hour. We're already at 30 minutes. And I'm just getting to the cards. So just saying. This is a new flow for me with the way that I'm doing my reading. So we'll see how long we're here today. But just wanted to give you that heads up. And if you have to help out, I'm also streaming on YouTube Live right now. So it will be available pretty much right after we're done on my YouTube channel. Just search my name. Everything's always in my link tree too. Whenever I talk about, just go to my link tree in my Inside Timer bio. How to best utilize the 3 transits that we talked about today. Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let us know which cards are calling to you most strongly, and I will show them one more time just in case. Once more, the back of card number 1. The back of card 2. And the back of card number 3. And let's see who's working with which cards. Allison 1, Pam 3, Carol 1, Jenny 2 and 3, Nicole 3, Lisa all 3, Nicole 1 and 2, Lori 2 and 3, Trina 3, Heather 3 and a little 1, Karen all 3. Let's see how this goes. So card number 1, we asked how to best utilize Jupiter retrograde, which is from October 9th until February 2025. Card number 1 brings us card 26, Neptune, and the message is vision. Like a cool blue pearl floating in the inky sea, this planet symbolizes how we float in the ocean of the collective consciousness. Neptune, the modern ruler of Pisces, takes about 165 years to tour the zodiac. On a practical level, it signals water, liquids, oils, and art supplies. On a challenging day, it shows us how we avoid gritty reality, whether we escape through our imagination, addictions, or martyrdom. On a lovely day, Neptune speaks of spirituality, imagination, and psychic perception. Pray, meditate, intuit, use your divination. Rest and dream. Activate the right side of your brain and step out of sequential logic into a sense of the infinite. Engage ceremony and ritual. Find a dream or vision and bring it back here to manifest. Because Neptune invokes both intuition and imagination, it can blur the boundaries between the two. It's all too easy to believe that what you want or what you are afraid of is, in fact, reality, which can make it easy for others to manipulate you by playing to your hopes and fears. Take each step with care. Working with Neptune is like walking in the fog. You can see the present moment clearly. It's just the future and past that get lost in the hopes and fears. If the world feels too harsh, or if you're feeling easily overwhelmed, tend to your sensitive antenna. Pray rather than worry. Neptune speaks of our psychic permeability, encouraging us to soak up our surroundings. Use that to your advantage and choose your surroundings carefully. Meditate with a group, tune into the trees, the earth beneath, the sky above, or sacred sites. Immerse yourself in whatever feeds you. The challenge of Neptune is that Neptune overwhelm can turn acceptance into passivity, imagination into illusion, sensitivity and the hunger for spirit into addiction. Watch for water damage. The gift of Neptune: allow yourself to float, to swim in the great ocean of the collective consciousness. Soak up the presence of divine soul. There is no separation between you and all sentient beings, between you and the realms of gods and spirits. What I think is so vast, and I'm seeing it, I'm feeling it, and I'm going to try my best to put this into words. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini offers us a time to go within ourselves to investigate the beliefs that we've been carrying. Gemini is the mind, these things that we've been taught that we believe with our mind. But Jupiter retrograde wants you to go within retrograde and Jupiter expand, find your truth, find your spiritual truth, right? Your undeniable universal laws within. But Neptune is all about the collective consciousness. Neptune is all about melting into the sea that is everything, because we are all one. Know thyself to know the other. Jupiter retrograde asks us to go within ourselves, to find the expansiveness within ourselves, to discover all parts of ourselves, because everyone that you see around you is just a mirror of different parts of yourself. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini wants you to spend time dreaming within, floating within, discovering all these different parts within, and that will help you tap into the collective consciousness because you are everything. Jess says, geez, this is my card for sure. Neptune, your dog, just woke up from being dead asleep and ran downstairs. Interesting. Are you upstairs or downstairs right now? Did he run away from this card? Let me see if anything else comes through about this card before I move on. Yes, Neptune also talks about being present today, now. So how else is best to be present than going within yourself and sitting and observing and watching, right? You're not there to relinquish past memories. You're not there to dwell on the past, and you're not there to look towards your hopes and dreams for the future. When you go inside and you expand and you discover what's inside of you, it is right now. He was with me. Yes, he ran away. Interesting, Jess. I wonder what he was trying to tell you there. Oh, and he's back now? Maybe he didn't want to muddy your perception of that card. He's like, you know what? I'm going to give this to my mom. Marnie, as a Pisces, I can relate to this card. Also, I agree that addictions can really be a lack of connection to source. 100%. 100%. I've dabbled in a lot of that myself. Using substances to try to connect with what always is. For me, it was a lack of patience. Lack of patience. No, I don't want to sit in meditation with myself. That takes too much time. I'm just go smoke this. It'll get me there right away. Card number 2 is advice to best utilize Pluto Direct in Capricorn. Pluto Direct in Capricorn is finding our power through structure, whether that is the structure that we created for ourselves or finding the power to break out of structures that have been imposed on us. You can take this many different ways, but Pluto is power through destruction. Capricorn is structure, boundary, limit. Card number 2 brings us card number 40, second house, and the message is resources. So this is how to best utilize Pluto in Capricorn. October 11th through November 19th. If your chart were a village map, your second house would hold your bank, museum, and warehouses. It symbolizes what you value, such as your body and your relationship to the material world. The second house also describes that phase of infancy when you are just discovering that you have a body, toes and fingers, and that you can taste and smell. Explore how you feel about money. So many people on the spiritual path have mixed feelings about money, their bodies, and possessions. Drawn to abundance, and at the same time wrestling with guilt or discomfort around desire. This approach avoidance conflict around the material world can make it hard to focus your efforts. And it may send out mixed messages until the universe doesn't know how to respond to help you. The second house asks you to build a clear and congruent message about your relationship to your resources that you can stand behind with integrity. Matter is our sacred vessel for spirit. Explore your attitude toward your first resource, your own body and sensuality. Look for that place of balance where you honor and respect your physical form, as well as the importance of the soul that inhabits it. Invest your energy toward what you value. This is where you can be a resource to others, and this is where you can get paid. Clean up your act in the material world. Clean closets, pay bills, deal with other practical things that might appear mundane, but can be a sacred act of aligning the soul to the surroundings. Integrity creates a welcoming ground for bounty. Come up with a clear, integrated message to radiate out, then back that up with action. The challenge of the second house: what you see is not all there is. If you are looking for emotional and spiritual satisfaction in your stuff, it will never be enough because it never quite scratches that itch. The gift of the second house: your skills, your resources, and your interests can all be sacred if you make an offering of your intention and engage your work for the benefit of all sentient beings. How to best utilize Pluto Direct in Capricorn through the energy of the second house. Power through structure, stability you've created. You have to have a stable foundation if you really truly want to be of benefit to society. It is not, I'm still working through a bunch of this stuff. It's not selfish to desire to be compensated for your gifts, because you have these gifts so that they can give you a tool to create your structure so that your structure can hold and support the people around you who need your stability, who need your support. So how to best utilize Pluto Direct in Capricorn? What power do you have already, right? If you're feeling a lack of resources, what do you have as a resource that you have empowered, maybe even specifically since 2008, since Pluto has entered Capricorn? How can you honor your physical body? How can you honor your senses? Second house is related to Taurus, is related to sensuality. It's the senses of your body. We have more than 5 senses. How can you utilize your intuitive sense as a resource, as a form of structure? How have all of those senses helped you create the structure to now build upon? Chris, yes, this is Star Codes Astro Oracle. Anik, wow. Stephanie was really excited there. It is. Trina, I'm so happy I can rewatch this. So much to work with. Yes, absolutely. Trina's a Gemini sun, Scorpio moon, Taurus rising. Pluto direct in Capricorn, second house. How to best utilize. I feel like also there are things that you have earned, built, fought for that are resources that you might be looking over. You might be taking for granted. So this time, October 11th through November 19th, by celebrating and honoring yourself and all the battles that you've won, all the battles that you've fought, specifically since '08, maybe that will remind you that you are valuable. Just a thought. Trina says, Jackie, are you talking right to me? Yes, I often believe so. That I am talking directly to all of the individuals that are here right now, or even on the replay. Oh, Trina's son was born in 2008. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's something there. Card number 3 is going to teach us how to best utilize Mercury in Scorpio. And I promise I will recap all of these and try to make them all make cohesive sense. So we have Mercury in Scorpio from October 13th until November 2nd. This is the energy of mental investigation. Laura, I will read that big comment when I'm all done with this. So how to best utilize Mercury in Scorpio. Card number 3 brings us card number 49. This is the 11th house, and the message is community. If your chart were a village map, the 11th house would be the community center, with rooms for small meetings and great gatherings. Also, serving the town council or state senate. The 11th house is a place to meet old friends and make new ones, and a place to work as a team, share a song, and collaborate for the common good. It includes all our collective experiences, meetings, circles, protest marches, group meditations, sobriety meetings, social gatherings, and teamwork. Look for the answer to your question among your social circles, spiritual circles, and work cohorts. Enjoy your posse. At work, think about how to put together a dream team with complementary skills and mutual respect for one another. Contemplate how to make meetings nimble and dynamic, exciting, and efficient. Notice how you are affected by group mindsets, the psychic milieu you share with this circle. If you like what you become in their presence, engage. If you're feeling lonely, join a group with a shared interest and look around to see who's with you. If you are in spiritual pain, find a circle in which you can pray, explore rituals, or practice Reiki together. If you are having trouble meditating, consider practicing at a Zen center or with another group that allows you to tap into a meditative collective mindset. To improve your love life, consider deepening your friendships first. Take the pressure off a romantic relationship and allow it to unfold organically by building a stable circle of friends who meet your needs. If you are honest about what you're looking for, your friends may be able to connect you with a possible partner. In an ongoing relationship, romance may be lovely, but for this question, you need to deepen the friendship between you and your partner and build trust through shared experiences. The challenge of the 11th house? Group mindsets can take you places you don't want to go or allow you to avoid the work of one-on-one intimacy. Think for yourself. The gift of the 11th house, healthy communication and strong teams are made up of a wonderful bouquet of unique individuals. So, how to best utilize Mercury in Scorpio? The advice I gave you guys is to give yourself some positive uh, questions to ponder because Mercury in Scorpio, the mind wants to dig and investigate. So, set yourself up for things that you really enjoy, right? And with all the rest of the stuff going on, because Mercury is going to, um, Mercury is going to square Pluto. So you're going to feel Mercury and Libra, you're going to feel like you're stuck in relationships. So flip that script. Ask yourself, man, why is it so easy for me to get what I want in relationships? How have I discovered all of these people in my life who make me feel the way I want to feel? And then go into your groups, go into these social circles to find the answer. That's what I'm getting from this 11th house. And if you find yourself that you're in social circles and you're like, man, I'm not finding the answers to these beautiful questions that Jackie told me to ask myself, maybe it's time to switch up your social circles. Maybe it's time to go engage in a different community, to spend some time with people who talk about astrology and oracle cards all the time. Shameless plug. This seems like your community is where you can go to find the deep answers that you will be seeking while Mercury is in Scorpio. Heather said, no wonder this card felt right. Jess, love this. Lisa, I like that thought of, do I like who I've become when I'm with this person or this group? Yeah, you are not tied or obligated to anybody. You get to choose who you spend your time with. Did you need that permission slip? I feel like there have been times where I needed that permission slip. Heather's loving it. Welcome back, Carrie. Jenny says, very meta how we are in a circle. Talking about being in a circle. I like it. This might be the time for you guys to explore Embody Astrology lunar events. It's my Patreon group. We talk deeply about the upcoming lunar events, the upcoming new moons and full moons, and then we come together and we ask questions about how these things relate to our personal charts. It's a nice little community that we put together. Insight timer, teacher bio, link tree information. Laura brought up the topic of Neptune, which was card number 1. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to read Laura's comment. I'm going to review these cards, and then we're going to pull one more card from one more deck. So stick around. Laura says, on the topic of Neptune, so relatable to me at this time. With all the turmoil in the world, I've been imagining being in the ocean, tossing in the waves. Then I dive down deep. When I do this, I feel calm in the deep, dark unknown. My connection to all self and ego dissolve away. I can also relate to the Jupiter retrograde. And then, as I discover my true self, I come to see I am part of a larger being, a being that is a collection of all beings. Thank you. Thank you for putting that into words, Laura. That is beautiful. That is exactly what I was trying to convey with my words through the Neptune card. So thank you for taking that and transforming it into words for all of us. That topic came up recently as well, so water is emotions in the spiritual world. We use water to represent emotions. And think about the wavy, crashing water. It's hectic. You feel like you don't know which way is up. You're getting sloshed around, tossed around. But what do you have to do to get out of that? If you can't change the flow of the water, you just sink. Because the deeper you go, the more still the water is. There is no fear. Dive. Brings together Mercury in Scorpio as well. I think it's interesting that we have this Neptune card, which is related to water, right? So Mercury in Scorpio, even though this was the Jupiter and Gemini card. We also have the 11th house, which, yes, we have Pluto direct in Capricorn, but Pluto is moving towards Aquarius, which rules the 11th house. So how do we best utilize these upcoming transits on the whole? Okay, so I've already described them piece by piece. Let's make this a cohesive message. The message from Neptune was to dive deep into yourself, to find all parts of yourself so that you can more easily feel connected to the collective consciousness, because you are made up of all of these things that you see and witness around yourself. So, my advice in general, on the whole, is go within yourself to look for the answers, to find the parts of yourself that can relate to the issues that you're having externally. Because you have built resources within yourself. There may be resources that you've been born with that you've been looking over because you thought that they're too easy. And of course, that can't be my gift. It comes way too easily to me. Haha, that's your gift. So while you go in and you dive into yourself, you'll find the resources that you can use to build your dream future with ease, and turn to your groups to use them as mirrors. Who's in this group? Who do I like in this group? What do I like about them? How can I relate what I like about them to myself? If you see it outside of yourself, it has to exist within yourself, because if it didn't, you wouldn't be aware of it. You wouldn't have the ability to conceptualize that type of behavior or whatnot. We're going to use one more deck to pull one more card. I will post the pictures of the book for these cards. I've been doing it on my YouTube channel. So I create a post with the pictures of the cards. We used to do it in our spiritual community on Insight Timer, but I've just transferred that over to YouTube now. So know that if you want to go back and reread. We're going to pull out a deck that I haven't used in quite some time because it felt good. And we're going to ask for specific advice from today through Monday. That's the next time I'm going to talk about astrology. So just specific advice, how to utilize all these things from today until Monday. And we are going to use the illustrated bestiary oracle cards. It's been a hot minute since I've used this deck. So feel free to send your energy into this deck. We're asking for just one card, one message that gives us specific advice about how to best utilize the astrology from today, Wednesday, October 9th, until Monday, October 13th. If you guys have been enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, they are always appreciated. And anyone who does offer a donation, whether on Insight Timer or using the links in my link tree for PayPal, Venmo, I will give you a book dive. So I hop into the books of the oracle cards that we use, and I send you a nice little personalized handful of sentences. So if you do choose to offer an exchange of energy, maybe just ask a question mentally to yourself. Ask a question to your higher self. Specific advice today through Monday. If you don't follow me on Insight Timer, maybe consider giving me a follow so you can see when my new classes are posted. Next week, I'll be here Monday and Friday. Following that, I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Remember, I have one spiritual toolbox left. If you are interested in getting your hands on some of the literal spiritual tools that I have used to bring myself to where I am, you can hop into my link tree to figure out how to get your hands on that one last box. If that Embody Astrology Lunar Events group sounded interesting to you, it is a Patreon monthly subscription group where I give you guys deep dives on the new moons and full moons. And then we get together and I help you decode how your chart plays with the lunar events and how the lunar events play with your chart. Outside of my 3-month coaching package, that's really the only way to get me to help you with your specific chart. Trina, Nicole, and Wendy, thank you guys so much for your donations. They're very much appreciated. Jess says, can't recommend the toolbox enough. I was shocked how much was packed into mine. Thanks, Jess. Appreciate you. That's it. All right. Specific advice today through Monday. The monarch butterfly wants us to digest your past. Before butterfly can earn her wings, she turns inward, examining all she has been, digesting the pieces of her own past. This is quiet work, womb work. So she shuts herself away from the world to begin the deconstruction. As she performs the rites of unmaking, she sacrifices every bit of self on the altar of transformation. Finally, her body is reduced to a soup of cells. Butterfly checks her blueprint, pulling proteins into her wings, preparing, finally, for flight. If monarch butterfly appears in your life, it's time to begin the shedding, digesting your past, and doing the work that prepares you to grow your wings. So I think this is just a reminder of exactly what we've been talking about, and this is a message saying, do this weekend. Go within yourself, digest your past, right? And digesting doesn't always mean going back and healing and crying about the hard things that you've been through. Sometimes you need to go back and honor yourself. Give yourself a damn hug. You did this. Thank you for going through that so that I can be where I am today. Watch me fly. You are the reason that I am able to fly now. Anna just joined, and this card fits like a glove. Especially with all this retrograde energy, it's time to go in. It's time to go in. Marnie, perfect. Heather says, beautiful metaphor. Does your Cancer course help with this self process? The Cancer course has an inner child healing meditation within it. And I'm trying to sit with that. I created it a few months ago, so I'm trying to sit with the inner child. Most likely. However, I would more recommend the cord cutting meditation that I just did. Was that last week on Wednesday? It's the full video is available on my YouTube channel, and I have just uploaded the cord cutting track to my Insight Timer teacher profile. So you can look for the cord cutting on Insight Timer. I split it into like 4 different meditations. 2 of them have music, 2 of them don't. 2 of them have my little intro chat to what cord cutting is. 2 of them just hop into what cord cutting is. But only 2 of them have been approved so far. But yeah, you can check out the cord cutting meditation. My track, Releasing Guilt and Regret, would be really good to digest your past. That is you going back to a time that you made a mistake that you might be hanging on to and saying like, hey, I got you. I understand why you were there. I know you didn't mean to do that. Let's heal this. Let's honor you. But this could be, oh my gosh, that feeling of honor. Thank you. Thank you, past self, for doing that work so that I don't have to do it again. Carol and Laura, thank you guys so much for your donations. Many gratitude for this morning's reading. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Karen. Trina says the cord cutting is amazing. Heather will check it out. Pam says thank you. That was spot on for me. Was it spit on for you? I like that typo. I love when typos happen. You never know. Maybe you meant to say that. In general, it is time to go within and find the expansiveness within yourself because you carry everything that you desire. Sometimes you just got to be patient enough to sit with yourself to find it. So that's what I got for you guys. If you want to review everything we talked about, this replay is going to be on my YouTube channel almost immediately. I'll post the pictures of the cards on my YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to that so you can get all those notifications. I'll be back on Friday, both on Insight Timer and on YouTube Live. On Friday, we're just doing cards. We're going to do like we did on Monday. We're going to start with a tarot card to see what type of energy wants to come through. Then we're going to pick oracle decks based on the tarot, and we're going to pull some oracle cards to see how we can use the weekend energy separate from astrology. It's fun. This is a new thing that I'm trying. This is the first week that I'm trying this new flow. We're going to go with it. Next week, I'll be here on Monday to do the week of astrology, and then again next Friday for cards. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate all of your support. I hope that this has served you well so that you are prepared for Jupiter retrograde, Pluto direct, Mercury and Scorpio. And I will see you guys on Monday.